Welcome everybody to another episode of Life Chronicles and Deep Dives podcast. I'm here with Coach Cornelia, and she is all the way in. Actually, I don't know where she's at. She looks like she's in a library.
Um,
Where are you at?
I'm in Romania, but I'm not in at my house, so I'm in Bucharest.
Oh, okay. So you're on travel, I believe
Hmm.
for a chess tournament for your daughter. That's super
Yes,
cool.
yes. Hmm.
Um, and so we've got this great background. Cornelia's got this great background. I think it's really nice. I like all the books. I like the look of it. And honestly, the background, in contrast to you, reminds me of like old like horror movies or sci-fi movies when they'd have the
Horror
overlaid
movies.
ghosts. Yeah, like you when they'd have like the overlaid ghost or something on like the
Yeah.
map peeing or like the Dark Crystal or Ghostbusters or
Hmm.
something. And
Hmm.
they had it's just like an old like it almost looks like an old practical or not practical, like digital film effect that they would be using, for like a movie. I think it actually is pretty cool. Adds character to the podcast.
Yeah. I didn't have any other option. I mean, I did have it. It was something like I was sitting in a field of grass or something. And then I said, no, we're gonna use the grass in different ways, and we're gonna stick with the books for now.
Yeah, I mean, but right now, if she were to take away the background, it would look like she is in a bathroom or in a very small cubicle, white walls. It's not great. So this is much better, much better.
Yeah, yeah. It would look like in a crazy hospital or
Yes.
people like a crazy people hospital. All the walls are actually white and don't have anything on it. So
Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad you're able to join us from this nice, lavish library and in Bucharest. And everybody, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out our links in the description box below for our websites. And then also leave comments. We love to engage with people if they leave comments. We would love to engage with people if they left comments. So please leave a comment, and then we'll get back to you. Engage with us so we can engage with you. And we hope you're going to like this episode. We've got some interesting things in store. Uh, Cornelia, did you want to start us off with anything, or should I get right into it?
yeah, no, go for it. Just surprise me as usual in the last episodes.
Right. So the first one I wanted to talk about is patience. Something I've been working on, but I'm not really that good at, especially if I want something or I can see a solution to a problem, but I don't
Hmm.
want to wait for that solution to like just happen. I have to make it happen. So those are the times when I'm really pressed to try to hold on to that patience. Kaya has been studying the Bible, and so she's been fasting on her off days to help
Hmm.
with to help with her patience. She says it's supposed to help with her patience. And so I thought it was interesting. She doesn't know that I'm bringing her into this. I'll tag her in the video when I post it again. But I think it's just interesting all of the different ways that we can work on patience. But I think first we need to know what is patience. So Cornelia, let me ask you, what do you think it is?
Mm, me. I'm the definition of patience. I mean, not in every way, but if I really want something and I know that I have to build something, even if it takes 10 years, 20 years, I don't care. I can just stay there and just try and work on it.
Hmm.
So, from this point of view, the patience, what is the patience? There is that ability to be able to wait and build, or to be able to wait for something that it's, if you decide that it's worthy. Maybe sometimes it's not. So sometimes you don't have to be patient. If you decide that something is worthy, then you have this ability to wait for it. But what you're saying, that you see the solution and you don't have the patience to wait for it to happen, what do you mean by that? Like, for someone else or for yourself, like a solution to one of your problems or to someone else's problems, or what do you mean by that?
Well, yeah, so I can't like I can't so like in life coaching, right? We don't guide people to their solutions. We let them come up with their solutions. So it's not other
Hmm.
people. It's
Yeah.
specifically in related relation to me. And
Hmm.
it's when I have a problem in life that I need to resolve, whether it's like, oh, I need to go here and do this in order for
Okay.
this thing that's happening to like resolve itself. That would be the main issue, right? Like, I need to go here, do this for this issue to resolve. Now, what a lot of people don't know is I carry a lot of internal stress for unresolved tasks. So as
Mm,
soon as an unresolved task or something bad happens, now this happened previously when I had a little hiccup. I was transferring from one type of job to another type of job, the same job, different organizations, and there was a hiccup in some of the background checking, security checking, and some of the government paperwork. Um, that wasn't my fault, but because of me wanting to switch the jobs, like I almost lost my ability to work either place because they thought I wasn't a US citizen. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I've been a US citizen since yeah, I was 6 months old or so. So
mm,
I had to go through all these hoops. I had to like call all these people. I had to go to Social Security. I had to do all this and like I couldn't rest till I had resolved all of those things in that day. Like go to the office, call this person, do that, get this paperwork filed. My mom also helped getting some stuff done. She made some phone calls because obviously she was the one that signed the naturalization paperwork, and she went down to the courthouse, and it was just like a whole thing because the courthouse that I was natural is several thousand miles away. So
oh,
I'm in a different state now. So that was a huge rush, right? If there's a task at home, right, like a chore that bothers me, like stuff is out of place, like there's too much stuff out of place, or there's something that like a shower needs to be clean or something like that, I need to resolve those tasks immediately because it's an internal stress. So for me, there's like little patience for anything else outside of resolving those tasks.
mm-hmm. Okay. So it might be your ADHD, probably, might be.
Probably.
At the same time, people are struggling with this postponing thing, which you are not doing it. So the internal stress comes from postponing things. For example, I'm saying I have to clean the bathroom, okay? And then I'm just saying it to myself, but I'm not doing it because I'm maybe too lazy or whatever. I have something else to do, and so on. Next day, something else appears, and I'm saying I'm gonna have to do this and do the bathroom as well, and then the stress accumulates, and then the next day something else comes up, and then it's gonna be three things now,
Hmm.
and you keep. I have clients who are doing this, and the kids are doing this so much, postponing things and just having these internal thoughts. I have to do this, getting tired from the thoughts, I have to do
Hmm.
this. Then you are on the other side. You have to do it now because if I'm not doing
Hmm.
it now, it's gonna be bad for me. So
Hmm.
it might be your ADHD, not the lack of patience. I'm not sure
Hmm.
which one it is.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to put a finger on it because like I don't
Yeah,
know. Like like when I'm waiting for like a movie to be released or to
yeah.
like go see a movie or I'm in traffic. I guess that's also when my patience is tested. Like I
Mm,
feel if I'm trying to get someplace, everything feels like it's moving a lot slower, and I get like, oh, okay, let's go, let's go. I get kind of
yeah.
internally stressed out and like let's get
Mm-hmm.
moving. I can see the solution, right? And usually it's because I can see a solution
Mm-hmm.
I have control of that,
Yeah. Yeah.
tries my, you know what I mean? That's when it really tries my patience.
And it might also be the fact that you're thinking maybe faster than the other ones, the rest of the people. You are, and I'm the same. Like in school, I was talking to a friend yesterday. When I was in school, I used to find the solution to the problems, for example, very fast, and I used to think that I'm stupid at the beginning. Maybe I'm stupid. Why didn't the other people finish with me? The other kids finished when I finished. Why did I finish so soon? And then I realized that it was my way of thinking. Maybe I was thinking faster than them, and it might be the same with you. So when you're thinking faster than the others, you remain with them, right? Because most of them are, let's say, not finding a solution to get on the, let's say, in traffic,
Hmm.
you know I see patterns in traffic, for example. I can do things, The others maybe cannot see the patterns. And then I'm impatient. Come on, move it, move it, move it, move it, because I'm seeing you have to go by there.
Hmm.
So it might be the same with you because I know that you're thinking very fast. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said that when we first started the podcast. I talked about how much energy I have and like how like
Mhm.
I don't I don't want to come off as impatient or not knowledgeable because like usually when people talk fast, it's because they're anxious or they're nervous. For me, it's more like I just have all of these things I want to say that I
Mhm.
just want to
Yeah.
get out.
Yes, yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
and so I mean maybe that's another thing where I could like slow my speech pattern down a little bit. And I've been trying to in these last few episodes like bring it down, but in slow it down a little bit so that way our viewers can like catch up. Sometimes it's overloading. Like for me, I can listen to it. Like if I'm listening to something like an audiobook or studying or something that my, phone can read for me or whatever. If I'm doing something else, which I usually am, I usually have my phone reading something, but I have it reading at like 1.5 or playing the video at like 1.5. That's fine. That doesn't overload me.
Mhm.
Some people, when I'm talking to them, I can tell that I'm overloading them like instantly.
It happens to me not with you, with Ben Shapiro. So I cannot follow that guy. I don't like him anyway, but so I'm not trying too much. But I just can't. I mean, if you've seen these days that he's been in a lot of fights with Carson Tucker and Megyn Kelly and so on, Candace Owens and so on. So I was trying to listen to him talking, and I just can't follow him. Yeah, but
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not.
okay, that makes sense. He does talk kind of
In his
fast.
Yeah, in his case, it's not because he's thinking too fast. It's just because he wants to seem interesting, I guess. I'm not sure.
Mm,
I mean, if you
okay.
listen to him talking, you would think that he's not thinking at all. So it's not fast, not, yeah, I don't
I
like the
mean, for
guy.
those internet personalities, I usually only catch like snippets of stuff that they say. I don't really
Mhm.
watch because, like, again, I don't really have the patience to sit through a whole thing. And I think the longest thing I sat through, and I think I sent it to you, I'm not sure. Carlson released something yesterday, which was about Thomas Crooks, the guy that actually
Mhm.
got the shot off at President Trump.
Mhm.
And it was like a half an hour episode. I was able to listen to that, but I was also able to work at the same time. So it kind of like balanced
Yeah.
out. I was able to do two
Mhm.
things at once, which I usually am doing anyway.
Yeah.
Which is, it's interesting. But I don't really watch a lot of those internet personalities. I don't know. I like an influencer type deal. I guess they're more reporters, independent journalists, but like the
Interesting.
idea of influencers, there's a lot of people that have podcasts that they just don't really talk about anything, but they've got millions of subscribers and viewers, and we are working our way up. So that is, it's interesting. We'll get there
I
eventually.
mean, Monica, talking about patience, so I was counting our episodes. So we had the first season, which we had 25 episodes, and now we are at the 14th episode on this season.
Hmm.
So it's gonna be 25 pretty soon. And I was thinking about the how long is it since we started, and this is where you can find our patience. I mean, we are very patient with it. We're not pushing it too fast. We are not compromising with this podcast, right? I mean, we
Hmm.
didn't we only talked about topics that interests us. Maybe if it was like Charlie Kirk, it was in the moment we did it, but because we cared about what happened, not because audience.
Hmm.
So this is where our patience is, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right because I think a lot of people would have given up already
Mhm.
on
Yeah.
something that didn't get traction so fast, and I know it took us a while to get
Mhm.
going. And then it took us a while to like kind of get in this rhythm. And because we
Mhm.
also have to, this is a lot of patience too. We are on opposite sides of the globe, everybody. And that's why I introduced her where she's at. I'm here in Washington State in the United States. So when we coordinate for our episodes, we have to talk about it sometimes days or weeks ahead, plan around each of our schedules, set
Mhm.
times. There have been times where I've been up late at night. There are times where Cornelia is up late at night or way early in the morning. And we're trying to get these episodes in. I think we've got a pretty good routine now and a good flow. Like we've kind of like worked out. You'd see if you watch the older episodes. Now they're great episodes, so I suggest you guys go check them out. But at the same time, you'll see a progression of the difference in the production design, the quality, but also the topics that we're doing. We're switching away. We covered a lot of personal development, but now we're kind of like into society, what's happening in the news, and that's important because I look at it not just as a political landscape, but I look at it as like control. What layer of control are we seeing today? And that's usually my aspect that I'm bringing into this
Mm-hmm.
podcast is like, what is the layer of control? And then like, what can we do about it?
Yeah, nothing.
You're right. And so, I mean, and that's why I wanted to bring up patience first. I think that patience is important, and
Yeah, yes, it is. Yeah.
we should
But
all
not
be.
always. I mean, sometimes you have to push it a little bit.
Yeah. I think we should all be striving to work to have maybe a little bit more patience in our lives, maybe a little bit of patience, not just for other people, but for ourselves. Um,
Mhm.
and and maybe find a little bit more peace in our day-to-day life by doing so. I know I'm working on it, and
Mm.
I know my wife is working on it right now as well.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
And I think we're going to need a little bit of patience for our next topic. And I sent these links
Mhm.
to you. I sent them to a couple other people because it kind of links back to our most recent episode when we talked about like what are the real monsters? It's just, people with authority or power or money or whatever. And that was in the description, a very well written description for our last video. So read it. It's kind of poetic. It's great. That's all Cornelia. And when we talked about that, like a few days later, an article popped up and I saw it, and it was about the conflict in Bosnia. And I'm not too familiar with this conflict. I've heard about it every once in a while. Every once in a while, you hear about, like movies talk about this conflict. I don't even know. I didn't do a lot of research into the conflict because that was not what was important. What was important is that apparently there were elites from Italy that were paying like $90,000 to
Mm.
go on safari. So they were taking an airline, flying into this conflict zone to hunt people for sport. So mainly women and children. They were paying out the wazoo to go on safari to shoot women and children. Now, this is an article I've seen. I've seen several people post about it. I believe, one of our representatives, Congress for our congressional representatives, post about it. Um, and I think it's interesting because we talked about elites. We've talked about their desire for something more, and then this pops in the news. It's almost like I foreshadowed exactly what we needed to talk about this week yet again. So what do you think about it, Cornelia?
Um, so yeah, we did talk about this the last time. And I told you that it's an old legend in Europe about this rich people hunting um, children, most of them, just for fun. I mean, they are bored, with their rich
Mhm.
lives, and they decided, what should I do next? Maybe I should kill some kids and just hunt them in the woods. It's gonna be fun. And I remember there is a movie, I don't remember what's it called, but this is how it starts when some people are hunted. And I
Mhm.
was in shock because the movie is so, I mean, you can feel what those people are feeling. I don't know, it's so well done, and I was thinking about those people who are going through this because I don't have any doubts about this. So the police in Milano, I've seen that they opened, how is it called? An investigation
Mhm.
to see what happened. So it's not only from Italy, it's from Germany as well, from people from France as well, from Switzerland as well. Um, and it's not only Bosnia. So this is something that came up now, and they just want to see. what happened and how did it happen. But we know in Europe as journalists, I mean, as a journalist, I've been talking to someone who was in this space, let's say, with those rich people buying some holidays um, in different countries, not only in Bosnia. So they
Hmm.
have, um, that person told me that they have tunnels underground. They're doing a lot of bad stuff. I mean, really a lot of bad stuff. If we were to talk about this for real, it's so scary that you almost want to just hide in your house and just never come out. Or if you have a kid, you're just praying not to, I don't know, to meet those people ever.
Hmm.
This is how bad they are.
Yeah, I mean they're rich, they got money to spend, and they're kind of bored with
Mm.
the everyday life. They can't go hunt, maybe Africa Big Five because that's not exciting enough. They go for humans. There's been movies after movies about this. Sometimes it's a game show, sometimes it's like these top tier killers are being hunted by whatever. Sometimes it's celebrities, and then it always the movies always portray it as like there's somebody that's being hunted that gets out of it. In this case, it doesn't seem like anybody could get out of it. These people were flying into conflict zones.
Mhm.
And now there's been like doubts, right? So like, oh, it would be hard because of logistics, but like what I'm saying is like where there's a will, there's a way. If these people have money, they're probably paying people off to get into the country. And you're probably right. In fact, when you mentioned about the children in the forest in the last episode, that's what made me want to bring it back into this episode because also you foreshadowed it as well because you talked about it. Then it popped up on it wasn't the forest, but it was, in, the city. I'm like, wow. Or in the country, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
$90,000 for, per person, I guess more for children they were paying to go and hunt. And these people aren't violent people. Like these were like these were innocent people that they were shooting, people that were running away from another conflict.
Yes, yes.
So these people just inserted themselves into another conflict, turned it into a
Yes.
three-way, whatever, and we're just
Mhm.
taking, shots at people because they knew that it would just get chalked up as a casualty of war
Exactly. Yeah.
from one of the other sides.
Yeah, it was very easy to hide. So they just died because of the war. I'm sure they are doing it everywhere. So imagine, Micah, that they are rich people, but if you look at them, you can see them on television, you can see them in real life, like a bank manager or a school manager, or because in Europe the school managers are rich, not all of them, but many of them as well. Maybe politicians, of course, and so on. So you can see them in the day by day life talking about morals, talking about we should what we should do to make the society better, and then they go and hunt children.
Mhm.
That's the absolute worst of humanity.
It is. And it's crazy because like there's so many missing children's cases. Some of them are,
Yeah.
sold into slavery where they're like making shoes, making clothes, making some product, right? Working in factories, sweatshops, whatever. There's other aspect of it, child sex slavery, which they're sold into that and then they're, moved around from country to country until they're killed off or, disappeared. And then you've got probably a small number of kids that come from both of those categories and then their own individual category that are being kidnapped or taken from places that they were considered undesirable, street kids. Heck, there was a lady that they caught down in on the near the border of the United States. I know I'm pointing back here like that's south, that's not south. But there's a lady that they caught, La Diabla. I don't know. She worked for a cartel and she would lure women out
Mm-hmm.
to secure locations, cut the babies out of the womb, do organ sales from the woman, and then sell the baby. So you got to imagine that there's babies being sold into this, basically being raised to be like cattle to be,
Hmm.
hunted.
I mean,
Crazy.
so yeah, it's crazy. In Romania, you have the biggest traffic of girls, young girls from Europe. So they are taken from Romania or brought from other countries, poorer countries like we have like Republic Moldova next to us and some other former Russian countries. So
Hmm.
they are brought through Romania like it's like a hub, for these girls, and then
Hmm.
sent to Europe for these situations that you're talking about. But at the same time, you have these families who are having kids and then they're growing those kids up especially for these rich people to please them in any way possible. So we have so many rich, very old men who are having these girls at their disposition. So they are slaves.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, are treated like slaves. I've met one of them at one point. She escaped, and she had the worst life you can ever imagine. Um, but the police doesn't do anything about it. Why? Because these are powerful people. You don't mess with them.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, and that's absolutely terrible. Because innocent people, children especially, should not be harmed, should be protected at all costs. Women should be protected at all costs. But then you've got the fact that back to Bosnia, that this was something that people would pay to do. This would be like me going on like a cruise, uh, like a carnival cruise in the Caribbean or something. They were literally paying to do this. Uh,
Yes.
that's crazy. You said that it happens in other countries. What other countries do you think these kind of expeditions uh, kind of happen?
Yeah, it's not what I think it is, what I know it is. And it's for sure it's Serbia, which is not in the European Union, so they don't have these very specific rules, and you can do whatever you want in there. It used to happen in around Prague, but it's not happening anymore over there. Poland as well. You have many in Poland. So they're not necessarily like poor countries, but maybe more corrupt. So you can intervene, you can do things.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so you are saying that they paid to go and kill. They are paying for everything. Like they are paying women to have kids and grow those kids up to become slaves to these rich, perverted old men.
Hmm.
So they are paying, and if you think about maybe now it doesn't look that expensive, but in the 90s, 90,000 euros, dollars actually, was a huge amount of money. For Europe as well, was a huge amount.
Hmm.
I mean, you could buy three houses, maybe more, with those money.
That's a lot of money then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's a lot of money right now, but like,
Yes, it is. Yes, of
yeah,
course.
even back then. So, do we have a date for that conflict? Let's see what's the date in that conflict.
The 90s, when everything started, the conflicts
I
started in
think
Europe.
you're, yeah, I
Yes.
think you're right.
Yeah, because
Um,
Romania was in the conflict as well in the 90s, and all of the countries around us and in the communist bloc were in conflicts in
oh,
that
okay.
time. And that was a very good moment for these rich people to just set their lives from these points of view,
Hmm.
and feel their dreams of
Yeah,
killing.
like
Yeah.
conflict is a great catalyst for somebody with money looking to make more money or to spend it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I've actually seen a video. I don't know how accurate it is, how real it is. But it talked about a Russian cruise that would take people that you had to pay money, but it
Hmm.
would, I mean, and so this is where we kind of like float that edge of what's right and what's wrong. It was a Russian cruise. You pay money, you go on this thing, and then they take you down near Africa off the coast of like Somalia, and then they would wait for pirates to come attack the cruise ship. And then you, who the patron paid for the cruise, gets to actually shoot at the pirates with, you could pick your gun, you could rocket launcher. I don't know how accurate this is, but what we're knowing now, I mean, I'm probably saying it's probably true. You know what I mean? Like, but what do you think about that in terms of safari tourism? Let's call it that. Human safari tour. Yeah, I guess human safari tourism. What do you think? Should that be allowed, or should we be looking down upon that kind of cruise as well?
I mean, they should be the targets. Someone who's doing something like this should become a target from the authorities' point of view, right? So if you
Hmm.
know that these people are doing this, and in Europe, let me tell you, Micah, we know who is doing this. We know the rich families. We know who has access to these kind of things, but no one is going to touch them because they are too rich, too powerful.
Hmm.
So they should be uh, the targets for authorities to be caught and to be jailed or to be punished anyway. It's not going to happen ever. So of course I don't agree with this safari. I mean, I don't even agree with a normal safari. If it comes to killing animals, we have in Romania a very rich person who was a huge tennis player before. Ion Siriakis he's called, and he's doing this kind of paid trips for rich people coming in Romania and killing bears. So they won the biggest trophies and so on. We don't agree with it, even though we have this huge population of bears now, and they're coming into cities and they became dangerous. But we still don't agree with these kind of things because it is like what's that guy called who is in the woods and taking care of the woods? I don't know the word in English. So we
Yeah.
have these people who are taking care of the woods, right? And when these people, rich people, are coming to hunt the bears, they are just gathering the bears. You know, you don't have to fight too much to get a bear. You
Okay.
just have the bears brought to you, and you just pretend that you're such a great hunter and so on.
Hmm.
So we hate these kind of things in Romania, and we did so many things to try to stop them, and now they pretend they are not doing it anymore, but we know that they are still doing it.
Hmm. It's like a
So
vanity hunt. It's almost like, hey, look,
yeah.
I can do this, but the bear was corralled to me, and then it was,
Mhm.
it's just super easy. Yeah, I'm not so big onto hunting for sport. I'm okay with hunting for food, right? So if you're gonna
Two
hunt
different
and then
things.
eat
Yeah.
the animal, you should, that's okay. But if you're gonna hunt and then not eat the animal, that doesn't jive with me. But again, I can't control anybody else. I can say what I believe should and shouldn't happen, which is you should be able to hunt for food. But then other than that, we got to keep wildlife protected to a degree. There are certain points where wildlife can get like out of control. So I think that's the bear situation. But the vanity hunt thing, there's got to be other ways to deal with it rather than,
Yeah, of course.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
But let me tell you something, Micah. Can you imagine? Just think about you and the people that are watching us. Think about how sick you must be to live like a normal person in the real life. You know, going to a job, being a boss, doing this and that, pretending that you're a moral person, having a family. Probably most of them must have a family, and
mhm,
then buying a safari trip for $90,000 and going killing some people.
mhm,
You know, just for fun. How sick is this? I mean, it's almost unbearable to think about it, right?
mhm, mhm. I mean, because it's not just one action. I'm paying, I'm getting on an airplane, I'm
Hmm.
flying into this conflict zone, probably bought off military assets. So getting in vehicles, I'm traveling from, rubbles and buildings and in between these things, and I'm waiting for people that are trying to run away from
Hmm.
the conflict. They may not have been directly targets. They may be, become collateral damage in the actual conflict, which is sad. We've seen this in uh, Gaza. We've seen it in Africa. The Middle East, wherever. But then you have these other people that are just there with rifles, sniper rifles. These people have no idea that these elites are there with, their suit and tie, or I don't know what they'd wear back then. Suit and tie, maybe, some boots and a hat with a monocle, or, like just some weird something or another to dress the part, the vanity aspect of it. And then they go in there. I'm not saying that's what they wear. I'm just imagining. they're rich. They want to, this is going to be like their big thing in life. And then they
Yeah.
go, and then they're sitting there with a sniper rifle. These people, these women and children, don't even know that they're there. And then zoom, they take the shot.
Hmm.
That infuriates me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Me.
That's innocent people dying is not something that, I mean, that could send me into a rage pretty quick if I
Hmm.
see it in real life,
Yeah.
right?
Now, Micah, imagine that you are in a position that you have the possibility to do something about it. So
Mhm.
you can stop these people, and you're not doing this
Yeah, I mean
because,
they could
of
just
course,
cut it off at the flight. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
the
yeah.
military could have stopped it if they had to. I
Mhm.
mean, and so like you see the military, like I've said, they're trying to say, oh yeah, well, I think it would have logistically been hard for them to do this because of there's so much air control and the conflict and we're watching everything, but that's their way of saying like maybe one of our guys was bought off. They're not saying
Mhm.
it, but that like that's
But
oops,
that's what,
maybe
yeah,
yeah.
that's how it was actually. I mean, that it's impossible not to do it without having some partners, and some of the partners are authorities who are working in the area,
Mhm.
and then of course you're paying all of them. Imagine in Bosnia, $90,000 was much more than it meant in Romania. So they've been much poorer than Romania at that time. So you could have bought probably 50 houses on those money. So it was a lot of money for Bosnia.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were paid to keep their mouth shut. So
Mhm.
imagine you're in that position, and for some money you're not talking, and you're allowing those people to do that. How can you live
Mhm.
with yourself for so many years? You know?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that some of these people that were involved in this probably committed suicide. You just didn't hear about it. But we're about to see. It sounds like there's going to be some trials happening
Yeah, yeah.
here pretty soon, some prosecutions and investigations. We'll see where it leads. My guess is
Mhm.
this is just a fishing expedition because, as we know, and this will lead us into our next topic, and we'll brush on it briefly. Birds of a feather flock together. So this is a club, just like I said about, the Epstein club.
Yeah.
It's a club or the Diddy club. Basically what it is, this isn't going to be an isolated incident. There's going to be groups of people that get together that do this thing, like you said, all across Europe. Now I'm interested to find out maybe this leads to the United States. Are there groups within the United States, secret societies that do this kind of thing? I mean, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a secret society of rich elites that go
Mhm.
around and hunt women and children or people in general.
Hmm.
Is it happening in the United States? We just don't know about it.
I
The
mean, you
question
have
is,
really do have a lot of kids missing over there.
mhm,
It's a
we do.
huge number of kids missing. Where are those kids?
Where are the kids? And I think that is a big problem for me because I don't, kids being injured, kids being sold into sex slavery, and I'm just going to call it that. There's no reason to call it trafficking. You're just trying to put a nicer word on something that's absolutely horrific. And that leads me into the next topic. Jeffrey Epstein is back in the news again in the United States yet again. My roommate doesn't seem to think that Donald Trump wants Jeffrey Epstein in the news, and I think he's kind of right. Jeffrey Epstein has been in the news because the Democrats in the United States have started releasing documents and stuff, and they tried to make it look like Trump was implicated in this thing by somebody by redacting a name. That
Yeah.
individual then has now previously before she committed suicide, we talked about her, Virginia Jeffrey, Jeff, I don't know how to say her last name.
That's right.
Virginia, you say it better than I do. She committed suicide, but before she did, she said she was excited to meet President Trump and that he was like the one that was going to work towards,
Hmm.
helping her resolve this issue, right? That's before she died. I don't think she killed herself. I think she was killed. And so when we look at that, secret societies, yet again, Jeffrey Epstein's come back in. Donald Trump has flipped it. The Democrats were super interested in the Epstein files, but now they voted against releasing the stuff last week, which means why? Well, you were interested in it, you're demanding its release, but then you vote against releasing it. That means you just want it as a political boondoggle. So you can, if you're afraid that Donald Trump's not in those files, then you would want to keep those files hidden while still claiming that Donald Trump is in the files. That's the reason to vote against releasing them. The vote's going to come next week. We're going to see. Speaker Johnson may not have a chance to block it. They're going to have, I think, bipartisan support to, congressionally release the information that they have on Jeffrey Epstein. Another club. Trump has flipped it in a True Social post. He's talking about like JP Morgan, Chase. Um, he's talking about Bill Clinton. There's other names that he's mentioned in there. We'll see
Yeah.
where it goes. Pam Bonnie's supposed to be investigating it. We'll see how far it gets.
Yeah. So first of all, Virginia Giuffre specifically said so many times that she's never seen President Trump doing something bad, and I'm not finding the word right now, but she specifically said it so many times that he's never done any of those things that were happening in the Epstein mansion or island or whatever. And that President Trump was very polite, very in his place, and so on. And then reading the emails, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but for me as a journalist, I'm seeing it very differently. So you're saying that the dog who was supposed to bark didn't bark, so that was Trump. That means that you send a girl trying to make him talk and he didn't, right? So then
Mm.
he's cool that he's not talking, you know? And then the next thing to say is that Ghislaine Maxwell, who she's in prison now, she specifically told Epstein in an email that Trump told her that they should stop what they're doing. So
Mm.
I'm not seeing the involvement of Trump here. I'm not seeing it.
So I
Even
think
though
I
the dog
think
is
I think
not
I
able
figured
to
it out.
stand by. Yeah, go ahead.
I think I figured it out. So we're going to talk about that dog quote that you mentioned.
Mhm.
I remember reading it and I remember having a thought on it, but I don't remember exactly what the quote was. The dog that was supposed to bark didn't bark. Basically, the
Yeah,
intruder
something like that.
knew.
Yeah.
It's an analogy for somebody like if you have a house, somebody breaks into the house, the dog doesn't bark because it knows the person that broke into your house. Same concept here applies. They were looking for a leak. They were looking for an informant. And
Mm-hmm.
so I can't say for certain. I want to put that out there. I don't want a defamation suit coming against me. But I believe Donald Trump could have been the informant that helped take Jeffrey Epstein down in 2008, or 2010. I don't remember, 2008 into 2010. In that time frame, Donald Trump could have been, may have been that informant. And with that being said, now that leads to two possible outcomes. One, we know Donald Trump is big on loyalty, right? So if he was the informant and then they leak more information about that, he's in the files, this is why he's calling it a hoax. He's potentially in the files in general, but he is the informant that helped take Jeffrey Epstein down. Why'd he take him down? I'm not so certain, but I would think that it was because Donald Trump was mad at Jeffrey Epstein for taking people out of his club, recruiting out of his club. I'm not certain that Donald Trump would have turned him in outside of that. So if
Okay.
if if like elites know other elites are doing things, right? You
Mhm.
can't say birds of a feather flock together. Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein too close. There's no way. There's
Mhm.
no, some sort of correlation there. And when we look at this, Donald Trump would be afraid to be ousted. One, as
Mm.
president of the United States. Two, as a
Why?
businessman.
Why
As
would
an
he?
informant, because then you're a rat. You're a snitch.
Or you are just a good person who is trying to stop some really bad things that Epstein is doing, and
Right.
it
Well, I
depends.
mean, I agree with that. I think you should be trying to stop bad things that Epstein's doing. But what I'm saying is that from an outside perspective of elites in a club, you would be the snitch.
For
You
sure.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
And then the other aspect of it, second part is, excuse me, political donors. My
Mm-hmm.
roommate brought into the argument that, a lot of these donors that also mingled, part of the club, mingled with Epstein, probably donated to Donald Trump's campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And so the incentive to keep that out of the, you know, uh, limelight, out of the spotlight, is there. I'm not saying Donald Trump's a bad person. I don't think he's implicated in any crimes involved in, the island or with younger girls. I think he will, and this is like a path of no return because he's already made it a riff.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was the informant. I can't say for sure, but if he was an informant, he will be known as a snitch. And what do we know about Donald Trump and loyalty? He can't handle that. He just wouldn't want that to be a thing. You would
Yeah.
also want to be, if you were guaranteed secrecy as an informant to take down this guy, you would want it to be kept secret as well.
Mm.
And I'm
Yeah.
just exploring every possible possibility. I like Donald Trump and I hope that he's doing the right thing. And, I hope that he will continue to do the right thing in regards to the Epstein files and getting transparency out there as much as possible.
You know what? No one is thinking about the victims in this case. So everyone is trying to look well somehow. Ghislaine Maxwell wants a smaller punishment and she tries to look better. Then Donald Trump, if he was an informer, he doesn't want people to know. Um, when I read about this email when with the dog barking, at least I thought it was something about Epstein sent a girl trying to make Donald Trump talk about something for
Mhm.
many hours, like 7, 8 hours, and he didn't do it. And that's where I thought, okay, that's cool, pretty cool that he didn't talk about it. So this says a lot. So, but in this situation, everyone is talking about what's happening, and no one is talking about the victims. No one cares about how those girls were feeling in the moment, how it is as a girl to be treated like that. This is something that we should talk more about, how
Mhm.
those victims were feeling and how do we make them feel better now? How do we help them now? I mean,
Mhm.
me and you, we cannot help them, of course, but people in power can do it if they really care about it. Donald Trump can do it if he cares more about the victims than himself. And Ghislaine Maxwell as well can do the same thing. And many, many people who know what happened there should talk about it if they care more about the victims than about themselves. But most of them care about themselves, of course.
Mhm. Yes, and I that's like the whole point of me bringing this into the conversation
Yeah,
is the innocence of the victims and like seeking justice, but we can only seek justice if we know the truth. Right.
sure.
And so how do we get to the truth is we exposure. We've got to vet every possible avenue of corruption, of hiding it, of whatever, in an effort to expose the ones responsible for this network. Not this isn't just one guy and a lady. Uh, the guy's dead. Maxwell's in jail. This isn't just two people and a pilot flying around collecting thousands of girls. This is a network. This is a
Mhm.
club, just like the
It's huge.
elites that went to Bosnia, just like
Yeah.
the Diddy party kind of deal, just like, you know what I mean? You don't hang out with people that don't have similar interests to you,
Hmm.
similar proclivities. So that, I mean, this is, and everybody was hanging out with Epstein to a degree because he had money and he was rich and he was this and that. And then, my guess is that, they probably figured out that Epstein had him, on blackmail or whatever eventually. And then, they had to, back him to keep it covered up. Like, and
Hmm.
so you're right. Everybody's worried about themselves. Nobody's really worried about the victims. I think us bringing this back into the podcast yet again is a voice for the victims in a way,
Hmm. Hmm.
so
Yeah.
that we keep it in the cycle so they're not forgotten.
Yeah.
And I
And
think that should
we
be
will
true
do
for
it.
all innocents.
Yeah. I mean, we will do this every time when we should talk about it. Yeah.
Hmm. Absolutely. Did you
That's
freeze?
all.
Okay. All right. Are you
Do you
practicing being
want?
me?
I mean, I wish sometimes.
Just so everybody knows, I've been trying to move more in the podcast, and I think hopefully Cornelia will leave this little segment in there. It's a little comedic relief after that's very, very serious topics that we've been talking about. But there have been times where I'll just be sitting here, and she will have thought that the camera froze because I'm just sitting
Mhm.
listening. So I don't know if you've noticed lately, as I've been trying to like shake my head, nod,
Mhm.
move around a little bit so that way she's got cues that she doesn't think that I'm frozen, that she doesn't think that
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's just
I was always like, "Did you froze, Micah? Micah, can you hear me?" And you're, "Oh yes, I'm here. I'm here."
yeah,
Okay, but
I'm
you are
just sitting
not
so
moving
still.
at all. Yeah, very, very still.
It was a good that's a good one. Well, everybody, please don't forget to leave comments in the comment section, engage with us so we can engage with you. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and we'll hope to see you in the next one. Bye.